just wanted to start recording again. I feel like I've been stuck in a rut. I feel like I have been overthinking too much. I have been consuming more than creating. I was creating quite a bit last year. Basically, I took a challenge myself because I wanted to overcome the feeling of posting on social media. So what I did last year was to make a huge challenge to post every single day, 2 to 3 times a day on Instagram. And I was posting on different platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, but mainly 80% focused on Instagram. For like consistently about, I started in April and I stopped posting in, if I'm not mistaken, in November, December. So that is about 7 months, yeah, consistently. And I fell off the bandwagon. I got distracted. I started focusing on something else, and started moving places, and things got busy, and I just left the hobby. But what I realized is that right now, when I wanted to start back recording and filming myself again, I kind of lost that muscle. I kind of lost that courage to record myself and to talk in front of the camera. It's actually really hard for me. Last year, I did it every single day. So what I did was, it's day 1 of public speaking and then day 2 of public speaking. I just wanted to overcome that feeling of filming and also posting regularly. But what I learned throughout posting so much in a short period of time, or maybe to a certain extent quite extensive and quite long, right? But I realized that, hey, you actually lose, of course, likes and followers are it's part of your social media world, right? And when I started posting so much, the likes dropped so much because I think it gets knocked out of people's algo, and maybe people start muting you because they may find you annoying, right? They may find you annoying for posting so much. They may find you annoying for saying certain things, or like or maybe just sick of your face for posting so much. But to be honest, it's really nothing you can do what people want to do, but you can just do your best and do what you need to do for yourself, because what was the intention that you were trying to do? You were trying to focus on yourself. You were trying to do certain things that, sorry, I'm like driving and I'm stuck in a jam, but at the same time I'm driving and just trying to navigate. Yeah, this is tough, you see. It's like a constant battle with your conscious mind or your subconscious mind, whereby I'm really trying to focus at this and I want to be good at this, but it's not easy. I don't know how other people do it. I think being in front of stage and talk, it's much easier for me than to film in public like this. Maybe because if I were to be on stage and I were to start talking to a crowd of people, I have to prepare for it. I have to over prepare for it. And then when you're prepared, maybe you're less scared or less nervous. But right now it's like talking on the spot. And because I know I don't plan to edit this video at all, I just want to talk and I just want to post. It makes it much harder because you're afraid that you might say the wrong thing. You're afraid that maybe there's no filter, and what if other people think you are saying the wrong thing. Hold on. Okay. Just at the toll gate. But so that is imposter syndrome talking, right? That is always at the back of my head. Like, maybe I'm just not good enough. And to be honest, I don't think I can completely eliminate this feeling. I do wish I can, and I am working towards that. But as of right now, I think it's a lot of overthinking before I start doing this. It's a lot of thinking of, yeah, like what if, right? It's easier said than done. It's much easier said than done. Like, you know, people say you watch all these hope core videos and people are telling you that, oh, don't let other people, don't think of what other people has to say. Like, you only live once, and the more you are fearful of what other people are thinking about you, the more you won't be able to be the best version of yourself. And it's much easier said than done, right? When you're actually doing the thing right now, it's just not easy. And of course, self-talk, right? Self-talk. So yeah, I'm just gonna break out of this negativity, mini negativity that a moment that I'm having right now. But I just wanted to be real, and I just wanted to share why I wanted to come on and speak over here, because I moved into a new role that requires me to drive 45 minutes to and back from office. So that is almost 1.5 hours on the road every day. And what I do during this time is I would listen to podcasts. Sometimes I'll listen to music, and sometimes I'll call you know, whoever to chat and catch up on work and stuff while I'm driving. But I realized that, hey, you know what? I can actually spend this time to vlog and to talk about things that matter to me, because I think there is value to what I'm about to share. As I am currently 32 years old, and I've been through quite a bit in my 20s, a very, very happening life to myself, and I realized that all is left is time that was spent outside a lot. And it's all great memories, it's all good times, but when I came to my 30s, I realized that there was not much time spent to myself in my 20s. And I do kind of I wouldn't say I live with regrets. I don't regret what I did previously, because it led me to who I am today. But what I do wish I started earlier was to you know, to start focusing more on building that internal energy, that internal habits that serve me right now. Because 80% of the things that I used to do in my 20s, or maybe perhaps 90 or 95% of it, I have managed to eliminate all of them right now. And that comes with things like yeah, it was just a party phase, and you know what party phase, what people do during this phase, right? You just go out a lot, you spend a lot of time outside, you're barely at home, you do things that what other people do. It's all group therapy, and you are just someone that that's not really a homebody. And that was me, and it was hard for me to get out of it, because I couldn't sit still at home. I couldn't sit still at home, and I really, really wish I could. But I remember myself very clearly that it was really hard for me to stay at home, and I had to find happiness outside, right? And I don't blame my parents at all for this, because they always wanted me at home. But it's just that I have built my habits around people outside, around the activities that involves just hanging out outside, like aimlessly, like you're not even doing anything productive. And I don't know, it started from maybe when I was young. I used to go out much, I used to cycle out, and it's just all fun and games, right? But I never really focus on things that matter to me. I always went with the flow, right? And to be honest, I'm paying the price right now. Going with the flow does not benefit me at all. And I'm paying the price right now, but I'm not giving up on this, because I know that that was what I did, and it was what I intentionally did at that time because I really wanted to have fun. And that's okay, right? Like, I think people move in seasons in their lives. The more I think about it, is the more I realize that, hey, we all really do move in seasons. And I think the hardest thing that you can do is to acknowledge that that was a phase in life, and that you have to move on to better things in life. Like, I think the hardest thing for me to do was to not acknowledge. I always accepted that, okay, nah, this is just things are gonna be. I'm probably gonna do all this till like a certain age, much later in life, and then maybe I'll change next time. And this was with me till for years, right? Until I realized that after I got married, it just hit me. Maybe it's a quarter life crisis thing. Like, maybe that's something that people do when they are in their 30s, right? I'm sure it's not just me, because there's so many people out there that are living the same, that's on the same journey as me. And I think this is something that may resonate with a lot of people, but it's definitely a phase where if you feel that it is something that you can overcome earlier and accept the reality of things, then you will just become a better version of yourself, and you will just quit the habits that don't serve you anymore, right? Why I talk about this is that there's no right or wrong to habits, right? Someone can be smoking and it can serve them, right? Like, smoking is part of their lives. It helps them live a better life. But for me, I love smoking, for example. I love smoking, and I used to smoke so much, and I told myself I needed to stop this. Like, I can't just go on smoking because, one, it does give me a headache every time, but it looked cool. Second, it gives me a sore throat like once a month, and that's just terrible. Like, I used to go to the clinic once a month. Like, what is actually going on? Like, is that actually healthy? So it was just all these things that I was fighting and trying to tell myself that, hey, I can break this habit, but I always fail. I have failed so many times. Like, if it's not cigarettes, it's smoking IQOS. If it's not IQOS, then it's vaping, and it's so hard to stop. But that was when I managed to stop completely. Of course, there are certain times where if I go on a holiday and I want to grab a cigarette because just for the vibes, I would do that. But like, most of the time, like in my daily life, I've completely break that habit, because it just don't serve me anymore right now. Yeah, I think, and same goes to alcohol and all these other things, which we'll definitely talk about it in another video. But what I really want to get to it is that right now, things that don't serve you will be left behind, and we just move on into our next phase in life, right? So I just thought that this is, I sidetracked so much, but this is really essentially what I really want to share over here and give you as much value as I can, because change is totally possible. I think a lot of people out there, when I tell them these stories that, I've stopped smoking, I stopped alcohol, and I've been sober for like 3 years, people are like, what? How do you do that? Like, why? I'm like, when you have a big reason why, there is a way, right? If there's a will, there's a way. And I believe that it is totally possible for someone to cut certain things like addiction. There are certain times where I fight addiction a lot, and I haven't gone to see therapists to fight this feeling, and that came with a bit of depression and all these issues that came together with it. I think it is something that people do overlook. My my parents do talk about, when I told my parents I go to therapy, and it's like, I think the older generation be like, why? Like, they don't quite believe in therapy. And for some reason, right? Maybe because they did not grow up in that environment, and I don't blame them. But I feel like that is something that is very much needed if you are trying to get help. The thing about human is that we have our ego that is so strong that sometimes it's very hard to put things aside and see things from a different perspective. We always believe and we always want to hear what we want to hear, right? And our brain always tells us the thing that is easiest to trust, right? And that could relate to being comfortable with our thoughts, right? When we are comfortable, we don't want to do things that break the cycle. We don't want to do things that make us feel uncomfortable, because being comfortable is good. It feels good, right? But what feels good does not necessarily benefit you. And I think the more I grow up and the more I learn about these things, sometimes it's really about tricking your mind. It's really about being real and honest with yourself. Like, that is literally how I started writing and started building this habit of mine of writing, journaling. And I've been journaling for like 5 to 6 years. To be honest, I'm still writing up to today, every single day, morning and night, 10 minutes each. 10 minutes before I go to work, 10 minutes before I go to bed. It's a habit that have been instilled for the longest period of time, as much as I can remember, that helps me live this to make life more intentional. If that makes sense, right? I feel like I said just now, I've been going with the flow so much that I don't really remember the things that I used to do in my 20s, because everything was just filled with fun. And all I really wanted was fun, and I thought that I could get fun for the rest of my life. But to be honest, that is not the way it's supposed to be. And sorry, I'm just trying to charge my camera. Okay, cool, it's charged. But fun, but it's, to be honest, in reality, it doesn't work that way. In reality, it doesn't work that way. And I think that's how people fall into a trap too, right? You fall into a trap and it's very hard to get back up. It's very hard to climb back up, because when you're in so deep, right, you will be blinded. And if you don't come into your conscious mind and to be real, sit down and be real with yourself and to write things out and just like, hey, you know what, this is what the fuck that's going on, and if I don't change, I will be in this position for the next 5 to 10 years, and I will have the same conversation with myself like that. So this is something that I myself told myself too, when I wanted to stop smoking, partying, alcohol and all these things, right? This is how I stopped. A big why, right? So how I did it was, I asked myself a simple question. That, do I want to do this for the next, do I see myself doing this for the next 5 to 10 years? My answer to myself was no. Why? Because I want to have kids, right? I want to have kids one day, and if I were to do these things, do you think, will I think that my kid will respect me? Or what if, do I want my kids to grow up seeing me doing these things? The answer is a clear no, because I wouldn't want my kids to see me smoke or like to see me party, and it's not a bad thing, right? Like there's no right or wrong, but it's just that, do I want that, right? If I want it, yes, continue to keep doing it. If I don't want it, don't do it. As simple as that. Don't overcomplicate it. And that was what I did. I don't want my kids to see me grow up, to grow up seeing me do all these activities, and at the same time, I don't want them to do it. But there's something that I can't control, right? If they want to do it, it's up to them. But at least I know that I am the first role model, and I will be the one that to advise them that, hey, to be really honest, this does not benefit you at all, unless you're going at something like you have an ulterior motive. So that was as simple as it sounds. That was how I managed to quit, because it just doesn't serve me anymore. And it's been great. It's been great for the past 3 years of not doing these things. I feel so much better. I really do feel that I got myself back. I feel so much. I respect myself much more. I have much more confidence in myself. I just started a journal brand. Like, hey, the 5 to 6 years ago me, or like 10 years ago me, wouldn't have thought that I would start a journal brand. Like, it's actually crazy to think that I just started a journal brand because I enjoy journaling, and I wanted to share to people that, hey, journaling is something that you could instill as part of your daily life, and you'll feel so much better about yourself when you start writing, because everyone is creative, right? We are all special in our own way. We are all creative creatures. When we start writing, it doesn't matter whether your handwriting is ugly, it doesn't matter whether your thoughts are cringe. To be really honest, once you start writing and you start being honest with yourself, you will see things differently, and you will become more of yourself, right? The real you. When you start stripping yourself naked from all your thoughts, the negative thoughts, or like the thoughts that have been hovering in your mind, you will become the ultimate version of yourself, and that is the most beautiful thing, the most purest thing that you can do with yourself. So I wanted to share this with people. It's gonna be a long journey to share what I'm currently doing, but that is a whole another topic for another day. But what I really want to get about is that it's so possible to change, and no matter where you are right now in your life, right, there are always better days ahead. And to document all these, like whatever happened in the past, you know, if you think that the past is something that has been you know, it's something that you couldn't let go of, like you've gone through something really bad or damaging, or like something that has been gripping onto your mind, right, that you can't let go of, I'm here to tell you that it's totally possible to change and to be positive and optimistic of the future, because you are the youngest you will ever be. You are the youngest you will ever be, and man, I do get emotional when I talk about all these things, because I love mindset stuff. I managed to change, and I totally want to help like the younger generation to fight distractions and things like that. I think it's so hard right now, to be honest. I think it only gets harder when as time goes by, because of technology and like social the society and how people grow up right now is so much different than the millennials, like back then when we were growing up. And it's so much, and we were already so different from like the boomers previously, right? We were already so different from them, and they think that we are weird, right? And for us, it's like when millennials talk about the Gen Zs, it's like they are weird, like they are so different than us. So it's just gonna be weirder and weirder and weirder, and I'm just not gonna deny the fact that it's gonna be like that. But what I can do is to give my wisdom to people younger than me, and I think that is a very it's the best I could do, right? Because if I don't share, if I don't share my wisdom and if I don't share my experience, what I've gone through, then someone else out there will probably be on the same path as me and only realize it when they are 30 or 35 or 40 later on, whereby they could actually change their life when they are 22 or 25 or 26, right? So I do believe that everyone has a voice, and no matter what you go through in life, you can always share it. And the right people will pick up your video, and they will listen to your video, and they will make a change based on their own judgment, right? So I'm just here trying to be real. I'm just here trying to share my journey. I think I've gone through quite a bit in my 20s, and a lot. I think in the whole of my 20s, it was a blur, right? I didn't even complete uni. I dropped out of uni. I completed my college. I did my A-levels. I passed, like barely even passed. Like I got a B for math. I got a D for physics and an E for economics. E was a pass. So great. I passed my A-levels, but I did not pass my university. I failed my papers, and it sucked so bad. Like I went to a couple of uni, and that was just a shitty time for me. Although I enjoyed uni time because of the party days, but to be honest, I kind of wish I had that, like my current focus right now, so I could go back and study and complete my degree. Just because, yeah, I was just an average student, but I thought I could. So I was just an average student up to college, and at uni, I thought I could just be average and pass. But unfortunately, I wasn't smart enough in my studies to pass my tests, and I failed. Right? I tried engineering, I tried accounting and finance. I failed, and that was one of the toughest seasons in my life, where you feel like a failure. I failed so hard at that time, and I couldn't forgive myself